The fence, cast iron was flat. Managed to get it flat all the way out on the wings and sturdy. That's about all I could tell you at the time. Now I've had a chance to use it. I've made miter cuts, I've done rips, some cross cuts, and everything I pointed out before, I still love about it. The fence, one hand, moves great, locks down straight, parallel to the blade. The miter gauge, from its little spot down here, and what took me so long there, I'll get to in a minute. Is there play in it? It rocks a little, but as far as up and down, the length of it, it's pretty solid. It's got positive stops that aren't actually accurate. And then you can put it in between and lock it down. That works too. So that I like. Works on either one. Go ahead and point out here, this is what took me so long getting that miter gauge out. The way you wrap this power cord can let it get in the way of getting this in and out easily, so just be aware of that. Now back with the rest. For the small piece fence, I do like this part of it. As with all table saws, all saws that I've ever bought or heard of, your throat plate won't be a zero clearance, and your blade, while some will call it garbage, that might be a little mean, might be a little accurate. These blades are not the best by any means. So first thing I'm going to do, I've already started to work on a zero clearance that I'm going to cut out using a CNC. When I get that done, I'll probably put plans up and make it available to just purchase. But when you get the saw, you can do the quarter test with the stock blade and the insert, and it works fine. But with all saws, replace your blade right when you get it, if you want the best results. I don't have the riving knife on right now. Like I said, I'm going to be working on a crosscut sled. But attaching the riving knife and the blade guards, very straightforward. Lever that you pop up to change the blade. There's an arbor lock, wrenches down here. It's got a spot for it. So overall, I got exactly what I thought I was going to get. Now, I have heard that there are issues with the motor burning out. Has that been resolved with this saw? I don't know. There have been indications that anywhere from 6 months to a year is when it usually burns out. And I'm pretty sure that's going to have something to do with how many times you turn it off and on, how long you let it run, that kind of thing. But I have not gotten anything to fix a problem I don't have yet. We'll see as far as that goes. I do still have my old saw still sitting back there, so I'll probably keep it around as a backup. It'd be quite a step down from this, but now let's move on to some of the key points that I've noticed as far as using it. First, dust collection, especially without a zero clearance insert, is not going to be great on any saw. This one, I would say, is the dust collection is probably the worst feature of it. It does have the spot where my shop vac hose will hook right into it. But as a general rule, for the cutting that I've done, This area down in here will need to get vacuumed out, and you'll usually end up with some of the sawdust out here on the front. And here I'm just showing that with the angle gauge at 90 degrees, it's actually reading 90. There's 90 on the gauge. And there's 0 or 90 degrees. Move it to 45, and it's 45 on that. So with all that said, I'll do another review, probably a few months. Maybe see if I can get to the 6 months to a year. Kind of give an update on the motor. Do I think this is a good saw? Yes. Would I buy it again? Yes. Are there others out there that are just as good? I don't know. I looked around for quite a while before I decided I wanted this, then had to wait quite a while before it ever got in stock. So I do have some leanings on some brands that I'd rather not buy, but that's based on years old experiences. So to say any of them are still that way or haven't improved would be disingenuous on my part. So I love the saw, and if you were thinking about it, that's the information that I've got for you. My installation video goes through how easy it was to put together. Some of my other videos show what I've used it for as far as ripping, and I'll have one coming out for a crosscut slit here in a little bit. But overall, I'm happy with it so far. That could all change in the flick of a switch, but if I flick that switch and the motor doesn't come on, that'll probably be where I start getting antsy. I will say that between dust collection and this saw needs to be on its own circuit, or this needs to be on a circuit that nothing else is running on at the time. Let's put it that way. It does draw a lot to start it up. Could that be the problem with everyone's having with the motor? Yeah, I guess. Like I said, I've heard of problems, but I haven't had any. So I can only go with personal experience, and that is when this thing starts up, it does draw quite a bit until it gets running. So with that, until next time.